Why don't you introduce you guys? People don't know you guys.
Sure. Okay, sure. So I'm Yanis Takos, the General Manager of Market Development, and I'm also the Project Manager for mobile ticketing for the Long Island Railroad. As you know, it was a joint project with Metro North, so there's a whole project team from Metro North, and we work very closely throughout the project to, from the beginning to now, and we'll be working together. And the project team, I should say, has representatives from every department, transportation, service planning, stations, IT. So it was actually, for me, my experience, I've been working on it for about 3 years since we started the scope of work, business requirements to bringing it now to the rollout has been one of the biggest projects we have run on a business level, not technical, trains, etc. So everyone has been involved. There's been a really great cooperation among all the departments because everybody had a contribution and a stake at bringing it to the market. And I think it was probably the biggest impact on the business that we have made the last years that I can remember, how it affects our business.
It's great.
Forward, yes.
I use it.
Right. So I'm glad.
Yeah. There's a couple of little things I
Right,
don't
and
like about it, but but by and large, it's been great.
Yeah.
I won't put a monthly in it though yet.
Okay, we'll
That-
talk about it.
yeah, we'll talk about
that. So we put together some basic facts. I know there was some presentation a couple months before. So, so we're here to give you more information and have a live presentation if you want to try. So, as you all know, on August 22nd we had the full rollout. Prior to that, we had a 60-day trial on the Port Washington branch, which went very well. Right now, we see the success in sales and participation. Both railroads right now have seen more than $20 million in revenue collected. We have 640,000 tickets sold for both railroads, and 323,000 people have downloaded the app on their phones, which is spectacular within 1 month. Specific to Long Island Railroad, we have 8 million revenue so far. This is a 311,000 K should be there. 311,000 e-tickets have been sold, which represents 6% of all our ticket sales. So I think.
Is it better or worse than what you had
expected?
expected?
Based on discussions with Masabi and what they have seen, let's say, with the application in Los Angeles, this is a little better than what they have seen in Boston and Los Angeles. So 6%, our projection, the business case was within a year we'll have 5% and then gradually increase to 10% over the next 5 years. So this is a little better perhaps than what we thought.
Yeah, 6% right out of the gates.
Yes, within a month. So this is pretty good, and from talking to customers and conductors, the overall experience I think has been very positive, and the reaction has been enthusiastic. We had one day at Penn, a table, and we talked to people, gave information. I think the message was, thank God it was about time, and this is really a great thing to have.
I would keep doing that
Right.
because what I've noticed is that people are curious.
Right.
How did you get the app?
Or
I get
hesitating
that,
a little
and
bit.
I don't even remember, MTA, whatever. I tell them. They start talking to you about using it.
Sure.
So I think if you just keep, once a month,
Right.
put that table up, people
Well,
are
I
gonna
think that's
more
a
and
good
more, because they're
suggestion.
seeing
And you don't need to have
people using it.
let us help you with the app, let us show you how you to use it.
Or how to download it right
Yeah.
now.
Right.
Right, yeah. In fact, we had a promotion because we were both there talking to everybody. We had a little promotion. If you download it today and, you win, a Broadway show, one of those free things we had. So a lot of people actually.
I was gonna suggest something like that, because when I went to like a baseball game recently, they wanted people to download the Major League Baseball,
Right.
MLB app. And it was like, if you downloaded it, installed it,
Now.
and checked in now, you got a free t-shirt or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there was a crowd of people there that were doing it.
We did that too, and it went very well. We had about 50 people actually downloading it that day.
I had
So-
someone ask me if there's any way that it could also be downloaded as part of train time. So if you go on train time, and can you then look at the train and buy a
It
ticket?
is, and we'll talk a little bit about that.
To
The
integrate.
two integrate
Is it-
pretty well now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Maureen makes an excellent point though, about having a table and helping people download.
Because your 6% might stop right there if you don't continue the outreach for it.
I'm a technosaur. You know, I'd have to get one of my grandkids to download that app for me. But if I saw your table and, you know, I would probably go over and download it.
We'll
You
help
know.
you do that today. How
Okay,
about
good.
that?
It's a big table right
I know
there,
you're
see it?
grandkid, but I'll help you.
Does he get a t-shirt?
Jerry, you'll love it, you know, I mean,
Does he get a
it's
t-shirt?
pretty
Yeah, he
good.
heard the Broadway
Do
show and that's why he's like,
But I
oh.
don't do,
Yeah.
the monthly is where I
But, yeah,
stop,
well,
I
if you
have
have-
all the other.
If you have the
type.
monthly, if you have the monthly and the subway one, that's the problem.
Right,
That's the
right.
reason. That's, you probably
Right.
have that, Jerry, probably, I guess.
I have the monthly, but I don't have the Subway combined.
If you-
I
if
haven't
you
bought the
have-
monthly yet, just because I'm
Right.
like, let me feel out the app
Yeah,
before I
Me
that's
too.
commit.
Well, I
commit
just
that
worry
far.
because sometimes I don't have power.
I have the monthly on my, I was on the Port Washington branch, on the Port Washington branch, and I turned down the app because I have the monthly, train, subway.
Right.
Right.
Unless
So
you
it
have
does
the
me no
unlimited,
good.
if you have the unlimited and you are a mail around and you get the 2% discount, you would
That's
never
right, that's
move
right,
to
that's
this
right.
until we're ready to
Right,
work
that's
with the
me, that's why I
subway.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right. The others, we had a lot of people that did the mobile and monthly and then just kept the paper Metro card separate because
Right.
they wanted to use this on the train. So that's always an option. So I'm sorry, you would not be seeing what we're talking about, but we have a paper presentation we'll be happy to share with you on the phone. But we'll do it live, but we just felt we should take you through the flow on paper just to familiarize you a little bit. So the front, can you just bring it up? The front, the home menu is what you see here. And you start, let's say, by buying tickets. It looks like this. It's the same screen we have. And then you go to page 5. You select the station, let's say, either your home or Penn Station. I should mention that as you see here, all the stations right now are listed together, Metro North and Long Island Railroad. But once you press Penn Station, the Metro North stations are eliminated. So your next choice will be only with Long Island Railroad stations. So you select Penn, and let's say then you select Babylon. Page 6, you select your ticket type. Let's say it was a round trip. Then you select peak of peak. Page 7, you selected peak. And then it's asking you to accept that that's the ticket you want. Then page 8, you go to your credit cards that you have already entered when you set up the account. So you select the credit card you prefer. You enter the security code,
I saw recently I heard
the wallet.
there was, the wallet or
Apple Pay
PayPal or
and- right.
something like that.
MasterPass and Apple Pay.
You take everything, all the major credit cards?
Yes, yes, all
Yeah.
of them.
So all the
And I'll
cards
talk
have,
about the wallets in a minute.
so all the cards or all the forms of electronic payment that would work at a machine
Are acceptable
are
here
acceptable
too.
here.
Correct. So here you put your credit card in that has been stored, and that's it. That takes about 20 seconds to 30 seconds, given people's, I guess, ability to move fast. So that you have now completed the transaction. The ticket goes into your electronic wallet. You bring it up by clicking it when you're ready to present. That's the image on the right, and you have activated your ticket, and you present the ticket to the conductor for validation. Currently, the validation that we have implemented is the visual validation. And Mark, you haven't seen it, but if you've seen it, it's the colors move and the time moves. So that's part of the security built into the ticket for
Yeah, it's on page 10
authentication.
there, that's
Right.
on the right.
I'll show you
That,
one.
there's in motion, it goes back
Okay,
and
good.
forth.
So this is how it looks, if you don't mind. Oh yeah, you can look at it actually. So the colors and the movement is the security. You cannot video or take a picture. It has to constantly move. And there's, color changing secretly. The conductors know.
I got it, I
Okay,
know it.
so
So,
you're
so
familiar.
do they know almost like
I'll tell you in
how a
minute.
monthly
You
changes
seen it?
color? Is these
Very
colors
nice.
like change daily or something? Like it's
One of
today
them
it's
on the
green, blue,
right.
red.
Yeah,
Tomorrow
two
it's-
of them, and there's a sequence, a secret sequence that is changing, and I think the one on the right changes more frequently than the other two.
I don't think the conductors are paying,
I don't
I think they're just
Right.
looking for the motion, I gotta be honest with you.
No, no, you're right.
I don't, they're not
Actually-
getting in on it.
Actually, they're trained. They're trained to look for the
So I've
colors
had-
being the same.
I've had
in case
3
the colors
different
are different.
experiences with people, with conductors verifying.
Right.
One, they just go like this and
Yeah.
then another where they look
Barcode.
and they're actually seeing if it
Yep.
is moving.
Yep.
And then only one time somebody said, oh, can you pull
Can
it
you
down
pull
so
it?
I could see that
Barcode.
QR code or
Mhm.
barcode
The
or whatever.
barcode, yeah.
So they're checking, but they're all not checking for the same thing in my
Right.
personal experience.
Right.
Mine too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm in
That's
complete
the same
agreement.
thing, different actually.
So what
I've been
should they
doing
be
this
doing?
since day
Okay.
one too,
So
Jonas.
let me just
Now.
go through this and then we'll continue with it.
Okay.
So, so that's the visual validation. We're gonna move into electronic scanning and I'll address that in a second. So, that completes the transaction. I'm sure you have seen some of our marketing communication materials. We had a couple of C-drops, flyers, we had a brochure, we had banners at stations, we had car cards on the train, and we had the big art banner at Penn. So I think
Yeah.
in terms of the marketing, we optimized what we could do and the message was really communicated pretty well out there. So, a couple of things. The electronic scanning. We're currently testing the scanning with the test team conductors, and we plan in January to really start actually these electronic validation.
So
scanning.
Have a
they're
readout.
gonna have to interact with each one then,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, and that's the plan, that they will be scanning. Then they will really have to bring down and show the barcode.
Yeah.
That's what
So they're gonna be
they're
scanning the QR code with
Yes,
a hand
they're not-
device.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the first day I used it, I said to the guy, are
And
you,
this moves
are
also,
you
you can't
scanning
really.
it? And he said, no, they haven't given us the scanners yet.
So January.
Alright,
I should say that, as you know, the scanners are tied with the OB teams, the onboard team devices, which is really, the OB team will have the application installed in the machine. So as we introduce the OB teams, the onboard ticket issuing machines that accept credit cards on the train,
same
electronic, it will be the same one, you know, a
Oh,
sleeve that will
interesting.
come, and it will allow you to scan with the same.
Right now, the ticket's good for what, an hour and a half?
It's 1.5 the duration of your trip.
Okay,
It
so
allows you really to have some flexibility.
So until you get the validators, someone could do a round trip with only paying for a one-way.
No, really, let's say you commute from, if your trip is an hour, you have an hour and a half. If you can do both in an hour and a half, good for you, but I don't think you can.
No, I'm
Yeah,
just
but
saying,
you know, the problem
but they
with
can-
that
but they can
plan
scan-
is
they
the
can scan the
delays.
system and
Right,
read through.
and
The-
let's talk about the
What was that? I
delays.
couldn't hear that.
The problem
Well,
with
if you
the
delay it,
90
you activate
minute,
it
you know,
already.
if you have an hour trip, is that, you know, you could activate a ticket, which I don't like, by the way, because I don't think that's been honestly communicated. You don't have to activate a ticket before boarding.
You,
You
we
don't.
would like you to.
I know you would like
Well,
this
this
too.
way,
That's why.
this way.
I don't know anyone
It's
who's
this, it's this
doing
way,
it.
it's a paid fare even if they don't collect it.
As long as you
Correct.
activate
Yeah,
it
I mean,
before you-
yeah.
Correct, but it's
Come on, I mean,
not,
that's-
but that we figured out within 8 hours of this being launched, because I said,
I
all
think
right,
you figured out much earlier than 8 hours. Within the 5 minutes.
no, I didn't understand it because
We thought
no.
we needed a service.
Well, yeah, we thought we
needed a cell
needed wireless
Right, we did
service,
not.
and
But
which
then you
we,
don't
and the minute you
activate it,
started
you do the
saying that you
purchase.
don't, then I got suspicious. Like, why are they making this activated
collect the fare.
before we get on?
Because they don't
So
want the
I did
conduct-
it.
They don't want the conductor
I get
wasting
it, I
time
get
while
it,
they're
I get
doing
it, but that, what I'm saying is
Two
that,
aspects with that, it's the conductor component, that they really want to go through the train quickly. So one of the issues we're dealing with the customers is they don't have it ready for validation, so they
I'll
are,
be honest, I
Right.
don't hit activate until I see him
me
coming.
too.
yeah.
Same here.
I have to hear the click, click. When he comes
If
in
he
the
gets
car.
in my car, I activate it, I'm ready for him.
Yep.
Right.
So he's never waiting for me.
No,
but-
he's never. They wait longer for me to find my monthly in amongst my
The
stack
paper,
of,
right.
you know.
Which is what we are
So-
saying,
So some people who do the monthly, who normally hang it off of them,
right,
I've heard from them, they don't wanna move to this, cause then they have to be awake to show it to
Yeah.
them.
Well, I
They can't
actually-
hang it off of them like this.
Today, no, you know
So
what,
there's those
today
people that are
I
diehard
actually had a young woman.
Nappers
Yeah.
that will
Right.
not move to
Well,
this.
the napper is right. Those are gonna be the people that will be hard to convince to move that. Everybody else that has their phones and live with their phones and email and
Well,
listen
cause you're
to-
one or the other, you're either
Right.
sleeping or you're on your phone,
Right.
so you have it readily available.
Yeah, I don't know, I really believe that people should know it's gonna be active for 90 minutes. I really, or whatever.
Well, the
Well,
countdown
we
is on.
do say,
That's the-
we
Well,
do-
that's after you activate it, but once you
I
activate
think
it,
it's in
it's
those
only valid
regulations or
for.
something.
But once the conductor validates, when they got that, it's good, only, that's when it ends.
No, that's
It
fine,
has been
because
checked.
that's how
Yeah,
Amtrak
it has
is,
been
but all I'm saying is this focus, and there was a big communications focus on activate before
Before.
boarding. It was, you know, it is to protect the revenue, okay, which is,
But that's what we want them to do as a business.
I'm not
Right.
saying that,
As
but
we say,
I
yeah,
do,
we're gonna-
it sets up a false.
Well, the time it
Ex-
says, it's actually in this image right here. Once activated, each ride of ticket will expire after a predetermined length of
Right.
time for the trip
Which we don't
selected.
tell them. We don't wanna really tell that to the customers, to play the game of perhaps potentially,
They
you know,
figured it out, I
try to
figured it out the first day,
Did you figure out it was 1.5?
I figured it out. I kept going
Well,
back
because
to
as soon as
see.
you activate, it gives
Yeah.
you the time, the countdown, so you know, well,
So
this
you
is,
only have to do it
my
once.
trip's an hour, I'm
The
getting an hour and a
point
half.
here is that, as Mark said, we try to do everything we could to protect revenue. So these are all built in there to tell, to avoid having, as you know, people
People
are buying
beating the fare,
by the
yeah.
last minute.
Listen.
I mean, there's nothing really we can do about it.
The more
So-
people that pay
But
their
that
honest
is
fare,
the beauty
the
of
less
it,
rates.
though,
Right.
is the fact that you can buy it at the last minute, and that you can,
Right.
that is what it's all about.
Yeah, we're not
Um,
knocking the way you set it up,
Yeah.
we're just showing you the other side, you
Oh,
know.
we have-
Well,
yeah.
no,
Listen, I
you
love
know,
it, I appreciate it.
Yeah, clever consumers and riders figure this, like,
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not clever, and I figured it out pretty fast.
Oh, you're modest too now?
No, but I'm
Here's
not
a
like
little-
that.
Here's a little issue with one of my friends he had. He bought a weekly ticket Monday, and by boo-boo, instead of putting Belmore, he hit Belrose. The ticket got purchased and put in the wallet. He made phone calls because what do I do? What do I do? Well, you have to send the ticket in for refund, but then they're gonna take $10. It's like, nobody seemed to know what to do in
Well,
his
there are
case,
two
and he's.
things we built,
If you
so
make
that
an error,
know.
don't
This
you,
is what
you
we
can
did.
cancel it within a
We
few minutes?
allowed 5
5
minutes.
minutes.
We allowed 5 minutes to cancel without the refund.
Through your phone, or do you need to contact
No,
them?
all by
Just hit
yourself.
cancel.
This is self-service. Actually, this has a lot of self-service functionality that help people do a lot of what they have to
You
buy
said
themselves.
without refunds.
Without pay.
Without paying a $10 fee.
Without a pay.
You can go within 5 minutes if you figure out, oh, I made a mistake, wrong station or wherever, I didn't want to buy this ticket. You have 5 minutes to go and refund it to yourself without paying the $10.
You want 5 minutes?
So
or
he
10
actually
seconds.
didn't find out until he got on the
And we
train. The
did that
conductor
on
said,
purpose
yeah, he went to
to
use
not
it.
allow people to buy, go into the city and 20 minutes later try to cancel. We figured that the average trip, let's say from Woodside or closest stations would be 15 minutes. So we narrowed it to 5 minutes to allow, as you know, there's an unwritten policy, if you buy it at the TVM, you have 30
You have
minutes to
30
go to the
yeah, you have 30
window.
minutes.
Well, we didn't want to put 30 minutes here because with 30 minutes on the train,
Yeah.
you could travel back and forth a couple of times. So that was the logic for the 5 minutes, and it does allow you. After that,
But
you
wouldn't it
can-
have to be unused? So if somebody was doing what you're saying, it would
Yes.
have been used if they traveled between stations.
Yeah.
Not within 5 minutes. You will be very hard pressed to find a station.
No, if it was
station-
that 30 minutes. You're saying
I
you
agree.
reduced it to 5 to avoid that.
Yes.
But if you left it at 30 and somebody used it, well then you're not gonna get a refund because you used it.
True, but you wouldn't activate it like you. You would wait,
No,
you would
yeah.
bring it up. So
You'd
anyway,
activate
so
it.
That's how he says
Which
like
is
you.
See,
we
those
went
people
through a lot of scenarios.
Yeah, it makes
so,
sense.
Yeah, he just made a boo-boo when he made the phone call about it. Apparently,
But
people thought
customer
he.
service wasn't friendly to the app. of
Yeah,
how
they didn't know what the heck to
purchase
do. They just said, well, you have to send it into, but it's on my phone, it's an electronic ticket.
No, actually,
We don't know what to
Chris-
do.
Chris was, I'm sorry, we didn't introduce you. He's the director of customer information and works, with me, and he's in charge of the customer service center. So now we have the ability to handle a lot of those
Pretty much, the customer would call us, and we would go into the system, cancel the ticket they have in, and exchange it for the correct one.
No, but would you charge him the $10 fee?
We would do it as
If-
a
Yeah, because
if
he
it
called and they thought, apparently, whoever he called said that
If
it
it was
sounded like
not
he had two heads.
activated,
They're
if
like,
it
we don't know what
was-
to do,
Yeah.
send it in to us. It's an electronic, I can't send,
As long
what am I
as the
supposed to
proof
send you
is
my
there,
phone?
we can do a one-time exception, as long as you're not doing it every month.
I should tell him.
Right, you'll figure
He's-
it out.
he's
I mean,
paying-
these, look, I think it's been a
He's been paying
really
$3 every
terrific
day.
This could
launch.
have been early on.
And,
I mean, we're still
the other
early
thing,
on.
Giannis, is this morning, actually, when I was coming in, there were 2 people using their electronic tickets, and then somebody needed to step up, and he had the handheld device to do the ticket that way. And the entire group, because I was at the end, you know, where everybody's sitting, and everybody just started talking, wow, the railroad's really coming up. And the conductor said, yeah, it's really good. And he was fast at using the you know, sometimes the guys
I've
who
never
click
seen the
can
machine
do
Yeah,
a
I've seen it a couple
I
times.
haven't even seen it.
Yeah, he's got a guy
Never
that
run
prints
into
out a
it.
nice little.
yeah, little
receipt.
piece of
Yeah.
I've never run
paper.
into it.
Yeah, it was what was
Well, like I
it?
said, but my
I was on
buddy,
the
he's been paying
diesel.
$3 extra on the train every single day because of that stupid little boo-boo that he did. He hit Belrose instead of Belmore.
You can have them give us
His
a
wife
call.
thinks he's going to strike.
Is it almost over for him, or?
He bought it, it's a weekly.
It's a weekly, so it's
Took out
almost,
another day.
yeah.
Yeah, so he's been paying $3 every, you know, so it's cost him, thank God for Jewish holidays, so he lost a day in
Well,
the
yeah, just
process.
the cash on him too.
So it's $24, you know, he had paid $24 additional for
Yeah,
the boo-boo.
if it happens again, just.
But he's not overpaying, he's just,
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Convenience of
Well, yeah,
He's not getting-
well, no, you
he's not
are.
getting
See,
the
I
break
think
on
it's
the
less.
monthly,
But he's.
Well, no,
No, he
it's
bought a
weekly,
weekly.
he bought a weekly to
Oh,
Belrose.
it's weekly,
Yeah, it's not a
well,
monthly.
the difference
Yeah.
between Belrose and Belmore is the $24, so that's what he's
Now, if you
paying
buy a
out of
week,
pocket.
It's a
Yeah,
step
I
up
don't know.
there.
Yeah, step up.
So he's stepping up for $3
Yeah.
extra.
Right.
It comes out to the same thing.
If he had not made the mistake.
It is in your.
No, I
So
think it's
financially,
great.
there's no hit to him.
I really do.
Yeah, she told me this morning when I was there and he was on the train, he goes, ah, crap.
I have a bunch of
$3.
See, I have 10 trips. My wallet
This
is
is a
full.
guide of how we actually
You know,
can
just
use
show.
it to,
Unfortunately, I do the,
this will
manual.
help you download the app.
Okay, would you like to buy
I'd
it?
it'd be nice.
Similar to what you saw in the
Once
presentation.
you start the validation.
I will have to give this, the millennials are gonna love this.
Yes.
You
So it doesn't
know?
matter if it's 5 minutes or 2 hours,
It
it's dead from that.
it says used on it.
Right, so they can't, you can't.
Once you use the ticket,
This is,
it's your
I
wallet.
mean, this.
I'm sorry.
I know, he doesn't sound like.
This brochure has not been totally updated, but it's pretty IDA accurate.
Yeah.
A few things have changed, but for the most part, the information is there.
So you could
Great.
buy, if you're, let's say I'm taking,
used and when it was used.
if I'm taking my
Oh,
kids,
okay.
So when you're.
I could buy for them
Yeah.
on my phone.
On your
and
phone.
then
So I had to buy it weekly, and I did it the old fashioned.
I've done
way.
every
Paper.
ticket type except monthly. I've done the weeklies, I've done the 10 trips peak, I've done the 10 trips off peak, I've done one way, yeah, every single version but the monthly.
You could do a family fair too.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
that.
exactly, and
I went
it-
to a
it-
Mets game and I
you
did
know,
it for my
it's,
son.
it's really great, it really is, and,
Like you buy it, as you get to the station, you buy it like before.
I mean, really, what we
I
say
buy it on the
about.
train. No, I'm kidding. It depends. You know, the biggest challenge is, and it's actually forced me to remember what the security code is on my credit card. That's the spot.
If anyone
Where,
knows how to-
no, because it's not something that's intuitive. But no, I've bought tickets walking on the street to Penn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
really,
it's
the
fine.
anywhere, anytime is really true here and changes the way I think people commute.
Real heavy.
I think it's a dramatic.
Yeah.
It's dramatic. It's great. It's great. It
Not only
really
that,
is.
but what I was saying earlier, seriously, it allows us from the office to provide customer service that we never had done before.
No.
One, two, that it allows self-management of your account, which you never had before. And when we do the electronic scanning, it allows us to collect a wealth of data about when people travel, how do they travel?
Right, exactly.
When tickets are validated.
Yeah, it's
what
perfect.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's enormous. I think that's what I said earlier. I really feel very good that we bring something that will change the way we do business forever, dramatically.
Yeah, you know what the other idea maybe to think about when you promote this is like on a holiday. Like get people down, because the
The
lines
occasionals, right.
are like crazy.
Actually, we've done that. In the summer, during the long Friday nights, we had people at the TVM standing,
Yeah,
giving them the flyer.
yeah, no, that like, coming up like Thanksgiving or
Exactly.
what, that's our
Oh,
next
yeah,
one,
Absolutely.
Because that was part of what motivated me. I hate the ticket machine in Cold Spring Harbor
Well,
because
and
you
if there's a
can't
group
read
of
the
people, a
screen.
family coming in for a show or something,
Yeah.
you just need one person who has the app and they can buy the tickets for the group.
Right, and we don't have enough ticket machines in Huntington. I mean, we've only got 2 ticket machines.
So I know we asked the question before, but I never realized that
You
when
know.
you're looking at the train time, you could click buy activate
Exactly.
tickets and it'll open up the other app.
And
I
it
never
saves
I
your
know.
realized that.
ticket. It saves your station confirmation, it gives you the information for the stations
I never
you
noticed
purchase the
it.
ticket for.
Their interface and passes
Yeah.
along.
No,
And
I-
from the train time, you can go to the ETICS, and from the ETICS, you can go to the train time.
Yeah, I never realized it
I
was
don't
that.
use the train time. I actually use the MTA website, which I made a link to on my phone.
Train time is much better.
It's better
I know
now.
I should.
I didn't like it when
do
it first
By
came out.
far.
I know, but this,
It's much
what
better
bothers
now.
me about this one though is that the first thing it says to me is error. And this is the program site. It goes Penn Station to Penn Station, right? But the first thing they say is the combination you have chosen is invalid. I didn't choose it. That's the way you programmed your site,
It defaults.
okay?
And
So,
defaults.
anyway,
Yeah.
in the world of communications, that's not a nice way to greet a customer.
Which combination, what was it?
I just,
It defaults to pen to
It's-
pen
Do
instead
you
of.
know, and the reason it does that
Not
is because
possible.
you have it
It may-
bookmarked.
it may make no sense,
And the
but when you
default
switch it
station
to
is always
Jamaica,
Penn
is
Station.
that,
So when
mean, is
you
that-
actually
is
bring
it
it
like,
up, it
if one
refreshes.
car you
So it actually
activated
thinks
and
you're
they
searching
scan it,
pen
and say
to
they
pen.
scan it,
Right.
now you
That's
switch your
the
train
I
to
know, but
Jamaica.
still, it's
Will
weird.
it show what's been
You will-
used?
I will, I'll do that.
Well, it would show that it has.
Mark, I gotta go
Right
in
now, it's
5.
no scan.
Train time is
for-
pretty
first
quick.
of
Wait
all.
a second.
Yeah, I will.
Can we just have one conversation? Maybe you guys have used this, I don't know. My question is if you change it to Jamaica, so when they validate it, so if you get on the train and they validate it, you're just being used, and you switch at Jamaica, will it show up now, it's already been validated and used already, or is it gonna be?
Yeah, when the
It's still
conductor,
active.
when the conductor scans it on the next train, they're gonna get an indication that the ticket was already used, but they're allowed, if it's within the zones, you're fine.
And with
Okay,
the
well, what
time
about
frame.
if the time-wise may not work, if
Right,
you
well-
switch, you may have to wait for
Yeah,
connection.
what
for a
happens if
while,
the
it
train
may
is,
not
let's say, 45 minutes late? Let's pick a number. And by the time you get to Jamaica, you're outside of that hole.
The
Now, that
on-board
ticket,
crews will know of that pretty much as well.
Yeah.
And, at the same time, again, the time is built in within the app. But when there is a connection, and you're using it on one, when we do go to scanning, they'll be able to see that the conductor will already see that it was scanned and at what time it was scanned.
well, what about now? What happens now without, they don't have the scanners yet? What happens in that case?
Ticket is not
Visual
killed.
inspection.
The
It's like
ticket
a
isn't
step.
killed.
The ticket is still activated and valid.
And
It will
valid.
self-expire, again, in 1.5 times the length of the trip, so it's still a
But
valid
how does it
ticket.
know which trip you're taking? Because I
It
could,
shows it.
There's an info.
No,
It's a
but-
trip. It's a trip.
no, but if I go from Hicksville to Metz, I gotta switch at Jamaica, I gotta switch at
Woodside.
Woodside. So how does it know I'm doing all those extra
It's a-
switches and the time that I'm waiting on the platform
It's
for
already
the?
pre-programmed. The minute you're going to put in Hicksville to Maxwell's Pointer, it's already come up with a formula on how long that trip is going to take.
But it doesn't know what time I'm leaving. So if I leave at
No, it
11
doesn't.
o'clock, it might take me an hour and a half. But if I leave at 11:30, it might take me 2 hours because the wait time or the transfer time is different.
There haven't been any complaints, especially since we've used it a lot for Met, since it was really live on Port Wash first. There haven't been any complaints that it's expired before anyone arrives. Now, if we have an accident or something goes wrong and you're stuck on the train for 2 hours, then the crews already would
Know the issue happened.
Know the
Alright,
issue.
so there is a
You
button
wouldn't
that
be the only
says
one with
ticket
the situation,
info.
Right.
So everybody would be in the same boat.
There is a button that says ticket info. So this one that we just purchased from Mark, you can see here, it shows when it was activated,
Yeah.
when the activation ends, so the conductor can see all the details about that particular ticket. So they know when you purchased it, when you activated it, and when the activation expires. So
So if they did need to see some details,
exactly,
they could
so
click
can
on
go to
there
that.
Right.
Or you
troubleshoot it right there in the moment.
exactly.
And what really matters is the activation
Just
time.
like
If you left
Amtrak.
Hicksville at 11 and it's now 1 o'clock and you're in the gating at Maxwell,
And by the way, I don't know if
really
you've
delayed,
noticed,
problem.
Um,
See it.
Right.
the other thing, I'm sorry, your first name?
Brian.
Brian, when you have your ticket, sometimes it doesn't show depending on the phone, but here there's a train time connection within your ticket that takes you directly to train time. So you can see, you know, the service. You see, it takes you regular train time, and you will see the times of the train.
For
So
that-
within your
for what
ticket,
you
within your
purchased
ticket that
for.
you have purchased for, right. So, it's another good thing I think we try to build into this.
I have to go. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad to hear it was you
Good.
managed this through. because-
Appreciate that.
No,
Yeah.
you
I
both
was-
done good
Mine was
work.
just more
And we've
questions than-
all said
Our
that
perspective
it went
is,
really well,
Make
so.
sure that the conductors are well trained and can spearhead problems, that's gonna be the biggest thing.
Well, let me tell you, I think that's another thing that I think the Long Island Railroad did extremely well. They built a training program that everybody had to go through it.
How long
And
was
they
the
actually
train
got
time-wise?
paid for it. But we made it not voluntary, but mandatory to go through this training rather than give them a flyer and say, read this and be prepared. So we went through.
My point is, that's something you guys have, because the problem we have now is the tickets not being collected. They're trained to collect tickets. It
Right.
doesn't happen. Really, the key is gonna be that they have to make the system work. Because if there's a problem and you're delayed, it's gonna come down to them.
Right. I mean, there are measures that we have thought, we haven't exercised them yet, but there is a way, if there is, there's a protocol that says if there is a delay, and there are people with mobile tickets, and they will expire naturally because the train has exceeded, there's a protocol we have in place, guidelines to communicate with the crew in that train to say, we have the ability from the office to extend that period, so everybody automatically will see their ticket being extended, give them another hour. So that's
So it'll
one.
push like an
Okay,
update to the
Right,
time.
we could do a push from,
Let me give you a question you probably, not gonna have an answer for.
that's right.
Let's say.
Because you had an answer to all the other ones, so now
Let's
it's
do
gonna.
that.
Yeah, we
Is there
gotta
any
tell you
others?
at least once.
Gotta test you.
Let's say you're on, there's a problem with the train, and you don't get to your final destination.
Right.
You've paid for your final destination. Is there any, at this point, of getting a refund if you, the other night with the derailment, people did not get to their final destination. Many had to get off New Park and take Uber, they had to take other expenses, but they paid already.
Yep.
And they followed the rule of activating their
They did
ticket
everything
before they got
right.
And
on.
guess what we did?
What is the
We
result?
refunded them. They called him, and we discussed this internally. There were people that decided not to take that train, and they had activated their ticket. It would be unfair for them to be charged, right? So
And you
that-
could tell what station they activated and the time they activated, so you could block out those people, issue them a credit.
Exactly.
But do people-
And the credit was automatic
But
back.
they have to contact you though.
Yes. They have to contact
So are
us.
you
We
gonna
don't
put-
give money.
Well, no.
If the
no,
people
no,
had-
Guys, listen.
Really?
Let me finish. So I wanna know what the procedure is to let people know that they have the option, because right now you don't have that option. You know, we've never had, you don't get refunds in the railroad. You know.
That's what I'm
There-
saying, if you have a
there's
bank
some
ticket, you
exceptions.
don't get.
If you have a paper ticket and you're involved in an issue like that and you call us, our public affairs department will review your case on a case-by-case basis and decide whether there's merit there for you to get a refund.
I remember.
And
So-
that would happen.
That's the same thing's gonna happen
Sure.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no way, is it advantageous to have it inside the app, contact us?
It's on there already. You have
It is
the
in there?
ability to contact us within the app.
The FAQs have it, and I guess that's a corporate issue, how much you advertise things like that. It's there, it is communicated, you know, it's